Whoop whoop! I wanted to talk about my very first story about the first time I actually made a friend when I was a kid. It's a little weird, so that's why I'm bringing it out. Hey there. Yeah, I'm in my pajamas. It's because I feel like we're getting kind of intimate. It's kind of like at that moment we've come at this stage. I mean, we're almost at our 1-year anniversary, which is next month, in case you should forget, honey. But yeah, I want to talk about the very first time that I actually made a friend. Now, when I was growing up, I was excessively bullied for more than one reason. One was because I had the best grades. Two was actually because I actually didn't speak like the other children. I was always heavily mocked for pronouncing my words the way that I do, and quite frankly, when I was growing up, my mom did not allow slang, ebonics, referring to sneakers as kicks. That was not gonna happen. She was not having it. So I didn't know like what the coolest lingo was, not until like I got to high school, and by then it was too late. And still to this day, if I meet someone who speaks to me in some sort of slang, my brain just stops and it's like, what are they saying? You studied so many languages, why don't you understand? Like my brain just sort of just malfunctions. And the way I actually got this friend, because I actually grew up, I didn't have any friends. Even as I got a little older, not much really changed. I mean, I might have had like a friend here. Shout out to Monica! Yeah, you get a little shout out, love you. I met her in middle school by sending her excessive letters about her crush. I'd always write her a letter. And I forgot that I even wrote her these letters until she showed them to me like years later, like, you know, you used to like mock me and make fun of me for my crush because her crush had a big head. And when I say big head, I mean like it looked like, you know, like when little kids are growing into their bodies but they're like top heavy, like that's how big his head was. Like, you know, like he's literally someone you could look at and be like, don't get gassed. Like that was the kind of guy. That's what he looked like. He had big ears, big head, just didn't help him. But anyway, so we're talking about my very first friend. His name is actually Arnoldo. So if you're watching, yeah, you were actually my very first friend, which I think he knew anyway. So here's how this whole thing went. There was this kid named Anthony, and he was always pestering, I mean, he was pestering all the girls. And then he would come over to me, and I always had something smart to say. And he would just look at me like, what do you have that mouth? Like, that was the argument between us, like in kid style. And then you were saying something, and I'm like, yeah, you gonna start with me? You wanna bring it? You think you can handle this? Like, I was always gung-ho about everything. Because regardless of the bullying, I always had something to say. Always. And nothing has changed. Not a single thing has changed. So he kept telling his friend Arnoldo not to talk to me. Like it was just like this huge thing. And Arnoldo was just so sweet. He was so friendly. He was like, oh my god, good morning, hi everyone. Like that's how he was. And that's how he would speak with me. And then Anthony would see me and be like, no, we do not speak to the enemy. It has a vagina. You know they have cooties. Like that was pretty much Anthony's reaction to me. So one day, Anthony and his family, I guess, had to go to Florida. Whatever the reason was, the point is the kid had to leave the school temporarily. And that was my moment to make my enemy my friend. Read The Art of War. So what I ended up doing was, I've always been pretty ballsy. I've never had that issue. Regardless of excessive bullying, I've never had an issue standing up for myself. So I actually walked up to him and I was like, bruh, what's your problem? Every single day you were bothering me. Why are you picking on me every single day? And he looked dead at me and he actually thought about what I was saying, right? This is, I think I was like in the second grade. Yeah, second grade. And he goes, oh no. That answer was not sufficient enough. This is obviously my very first introduction into talking to men and them giving me mansers. Hate mansers, like every other female, I hate mansers. Unless I need you to get to the point. So he's like, I don't know. And I'm like, so why is your friend always bothering me? And I'm like, oh, this is exactly why I'm not ever going to date. This is exactly why. See, at that age, I was really irritated with that, and I still can't process it now. So I told him, why don't you just be friends with me? Like, I mean, it's not like it's that difficult. I don't bother you. I get the best grades in school. I could probably help you with your homework. Bruh. this is like a match made in heaven right now. So what ends up happening, he's like, do you like handball? And I was like, yeah, I've never got the chance to play, but I want to play. Notice how quickly and how I answered, right? So he goes, let's go play handball. So we would play handball. After that, we were just inseparable. And he loved hanging out with me. I loved hanging out with him. And he knew how excessively I got bullied in school, right? And I always had something to say. And regardless of what I had to say, now I actually had someone to back me up, because he'd be behind me like all dramatic and stuff, like, yeah, I got her back. And I loved Arnoldo for this. And then the other thing that he used to do was he always had this infamous black sweatshirt, and I've never seen a black sweatshirt like this ever since, and I really wish I could have it, because I really like that sweatshirt. It was like really comfortable looking. So he would have like the freshman backpack, and he would like, and then he would put the sweatshirt over it, so we had the hump from, you know, like the hump, the hunchback of Notre Dame. Listen, I'm having a first world problem here and a brain fart, just give me a second. Hunchback of Notre Dame, right? So what he would do is, hold on, it's not what you think, it's juice. Just saying. So I just like to drink juice out of fancy cups, because it makes me feel like I should have like an eyeglass piece like the Monopoly guy. Work with me. So what he would do is that he would do the hunchback thing, and then he would drag his leg like, Shanta. Like, he would do this every single day in class. And it, of course, with a teacher left, and I would be cracking up, and it would creep my teachers up, because the one teacher who knew that I was not a mute couldn't figure out how I was making a sound. She's like, I keep hearing laughter and I don't know where it's coming from, and I'd be in a and she realized we couldn't sit next to each other, because now her star pupil is now distracted and making jokes and laughing. She couldn't have that. So she separated us, like most terrible teachers. She was a great teacher, but she's still terrible for separating us. Because you'd always make me laugh, and the teacher couldn't figure it out, because she's like, you don't talk to anyone. I'm like, yeah, but I make one friend and you move him. What? Come on, man. What's your problem? So, down the line, Anthony finally returns, right? This is where it is gold. Anthony returns, see me and him high-fiving, hanging out, because we would always sit there and hang out in the recess yard. So we're having recess, you know, like Spinelli style, and Anthony spots us, and it was like, I don't even know how to, it was like a gift from God of the look of betrayal across his face when he realized me and him had became friends. And he actually grabbed Arnoldo and like rushed him to the other side where the gate was, like, what are you doing? You know how kids are, because they can't whisper. He's like, what are you doing? Why are you friends with her? It's a girl. And Arnoldo's more or less kind of like, okay, I'm not following why that's a bad thing. You know, Arnoldo was probably more straight than he probably even knew. So, eventually he's like, she's actually pretty cool. She likes like superheroes and handball. She likes all the stuff we like, but it's a girl. And it was like, he just could not wrap his head around it. It was driving him bonkers. But then eventually he had to succumb that I was obviously the favorite best friend, because I was obviously cuter and much cooler. Which eventually Anthony became me and Arnoldo's third wheel. Yeah, I did that. So we became best friends. We hung out. Everything was great. And then the ultimate day when we exchanged phone numbers, because you know that's what second graders do. And then he calls my house one day. Give me a second. Right, because I've only had 2 boys ever call my house. One of them was this boy named Darnell. And I only remember this because of my father freaking out to my mom. And my mom cracking up going, she's in the 2nd grade. What do you think she's doing on the phone? I don't want her talking to boys. He was freaking out, right? So Arnoldo's now going to call, right? Arnoldo's the first boy to call. And Arnoldo calls me. My father realizes I'm on the phone with the boy. And we're just talking about like Captain Planet, homework, because you know we're in 2nd grade. I mean, what are we going to talk about? How I'm going to sneak out at night, climb down my bedroom window with like my sheets tied down, and be like, we're going to have a great day. I'm not sure what my father was thinking, but he clearly had an issue with it. And it's funny because before my mother said anything, Joe, I know you were listening to the conversations. I actually heard the receiver dial. Like, you're not very good at picking up the phone like quietly so nobody hears. I'm just saying, I knew you were on the phone, which made the conversation now awkward because even if I wanted to complain about my teachers, now I can't. Just pointing it out. So my father is like freaking out. Like, he's on the, like, he's like, what are they talking about? My mom's just kind of like, really, relax. My mom didn't freak out about boys until I got older. So we would call, and I remember, I never forgot the first time that I called his house because he was straight from the Dominican Republic, right? And I didn't know an ounce of Spanish. I didn't know nothing. I didn't even know hola. So I call, and his mother's like, hola, ¿quieres? Who is this? And I'm like, oh my God. I don't know. No, Arnoldo. And I start yelling into the phone, repeating his name excessively, and she goes, no, it's Aki. And I'm actually just like, what? Arnoldo. And I just continue to repeat myself, right? And she's just like, no está aquí, and I had no clue that it means no here, no aquí. Finally, I got the hint of no, and I was like, hung up the phone. I said, okay, bye. And so I hung up the phone, freaking out, and I'm like, oh my God, maybe I called the wrong house. That was a lot of pressure. So, the following day, he had the biggest smile on his face, and he's like, you called my house? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, yeah, I figured it was you because my mom kept saying the girl was on the phone going, Arnoldo. I was like, you know, everyone remembers Pete the Parrot? Yeah, the little thingy? Yeah, that's exactly what I was doing. And he couldn't stop laughing at me, and he was like, I'm going to teach you a phrase, and it's probably one of the best Spanish phrases I could ever say and sound mad authentic. It's, can I speak with, so, puedo hablar con, and that's it. So, puedo hablar con Arnoldo. That's what I really needed to say, but I had no idea. So I practiced that phrase 1,000 times in my room, and I was like, I'm gonna do this. I can say this. I'm not gonna be scared of his mom. I could do this. She's not gonna yell at me in Spanish. Finally, I call him, and I was like so proud of myself. I was like, puedo hablar con Arnoldo. She got an idea what I was trying to say, which is a good point. She's like, okay, hold on. And then sure enough, he came to the phone. But nonetheless, we had a great time. He was one of the very first friends that I ever had. And even still to that point, even though I was still dealing with like a lot of bullying, a lot of kids didn't like me because they'd be like, you think you're smart. And I was like, I don't think I'm smart. It's just that you're stupid. And so, eventually down the line, actually, we had, me and my mom had to move. So we moved to like another section of the Bronx because I'm actually like a military brat, except it's like New York City brat. I lived in every single place except Staten Island. That's the only place. No New Yorker. I mean, not to insult you guys, but you guys aren't really a part of us. I mean, you guys are like over there. Like over there. Y'all like by Jersey. I'm not even sure why you're even part of the state. We still love you though, still love you. So I've lived in all the boroughs that are considered to be New York. And what ended up happening is that years down the line, I could have sworn I saw someone that looked exactly like him. So me and my father are on our way to King's Dominion Park, right? And we just happened to be passing by, and then you know when you get that little voice in the back, you're like, psst, looky, you're like, So I look over, and sure enough, I see what looked like it looked like the same age version of Arnoldo, but you know, bigger, and I was like, oh my God, it looks just like it. And it was creepy because he stopped like, I think that's her. And if you saw any of my baby pictures, my face has not changed. That includes this. Same face, nothing's changed. I'll put it up one day, picture of me as a 3-year-old, my face deadpan. So, I wanted to talk to him, but I never got the chance to talk to him because I actually wanted to exchange numbers, and around the time, that's when emails were kind of coming out, and I thought I was cool because I had an email address. I was like, you don't have an email address? This is the way of the future. You know, and all my friends thought I was a nerd, you know, because obviously they didn't know I could tell the future. Just saying. But yeah, he was one of the best friends that I ever had, and I was so thrilled to have that great experience of him just being my friend. And only once did we not spend recess together. It actually was because I actually went to Slide, right? And I dreamt of myself like how I actually look now, saw myself in the future, saw him, and we were getting married, and we were actually at the altar exchanging vows, and then we kissed, which grossed me out because I was in the 2nd grade, right? So I wake up freaking out, going, oh, I kissed him. Ugh. Like I was wiping my mouth, trying to like clean my face down. I was upset through the dream that even happened. I was like, I don't want none of that. So I get to school and I just beelined away from her. I was like, no, I saw our future. I mean, obviously I've had commitment issues since birth, so this is nothing new. Nothing new, Mom, okay? When you ask me about a boyfriend, you're like, why don't you have one? I'm like, I dreamt that I had one and I ran from him. So, like, don't be surprised. But yeah, eventually, he cornered me between the 2 dumpsters on the recess line. He's like, why are you running from me? We're best friends. And I was like, I dreamed I married you. I don't want to marry you. And he's like, okay, that's fine. We don't have to get married. And I was like, oh, okay, so cool. That's right. So you took the rejection well? Obviously, Julia Roberts is playing me in The Runaway Bride. Just throwing it out there. Just saying. But yeah, that's my little quick story time. I hope that was quick. I can't see the minutes on air. Nope, that looks like 15 minutes. Yeah, but imagine you've learned so much about me. Thanks for watching. Hey, thank you so much, you guys, for watching. I know I always have these random Cadma moments. That's pretty much what they are. For all my Cadmaniacs out there who are Bitten Apple fans, be sure to comment. Tell me about your very first friend. I mean, because I didn't really have any until I met him, and then after that I didn't have any more friends until like I think the 7th grade. Yes, 7th or 8th grade. That's when I met Monica, because I literally did not have any friends. Like that was it. So tell me about your very first friend. I want to hear about it, and then we can all like exchange stories and like make fun of them and how cool they are, and if you're still friends with them. Because if not, you know, you can be on this long quest like I am looking for Arnoldo. Arnoldo, if you're watching, leave a comment and be like, it's me, it's me, it's me, it's me, it's me, it's me, it's me. That would be great. And look me up on Facebook. Subscribe, and thanks for watching. Whoop whoop. Oh, one more thing, guys. Tomorrow is, guess what? The Moon Festival. So good luck for all of you. Everyone who's celebrating. I'm going to be wearing mad bright colors just to celebrate, because I need prosperity. Like every other actor, right?